Pinkie Pie's Burrito Accident by Evil Rat. Author's note: what have I done? This has to be the worst thing I've ever written. Please leave your brain here and read the trash I've written. Pinkie Pie's Burrito Accident by Evil Rat. Pinkie stared at the plate in front of her. Upon it was the fruits of weeks of hard work. The finest beans from Mexico, hot sauce made from the finest peppers from Saddle Arabia, a fleur tortilla hoof crafted by her from the finest wheat Golden Harvest had to offer. Wrapped into the finest burrito ever made by pony kind. She moaned slightly as the sniffed the proudest of her hard work. Product, of course. This was truly going to be the best day ever. She gently lifted the glorious burrito in her hooves, admiring it. She inspected every inch of it, looking for defects. As she hoped, she found none. It was perfectly wrapped, and the perfect size for her plans. She licked her lips, a slight sheen gracing her lips. She was perfect, and it was perfect in every way. Her whole body tingled in anticipation. With a huge smile, she lowered the burrito, pressing against her other set of lips. The warmth of the freshly cooked burrito warmed her nether for more reasons than the heat of it. She pushed it harder, the end of it slipping slowly into her. She moaned and pushed it harder, inch by inch, as it slid in. Once it was almost all the way in, there was a crash down in the hall, in the twins' room. In her startlement, she pushed it fully into her. She ran her hooves over her slit, trying to grab the end of the errant burrito, but only managed to make the situation worse. Panicking, she tried to figure out what to do. Then it hit her. Her friends could help. She rocketed out of Sugar Cube Corner, bolting to the nearest friend, Rarity. Rarity was busy with her latest dress. It was very complicated to enchant the gems she was using to give the visual effects she desired. Suddenly, her front door flew off its hinges. A pink blur flew in, headed straight for her. She ducked, sure some new enemy was about to strike her down. Then the pink blur solidified into her friend Pinkie. Suddenly Pinkie blurted out, "Rarity, you have to help me, I have a burrito stuck in my pussy!" Rarity looked perplexed, trying to understand what her pink friend had said. Then it dawned on her, filling her with disgust. "Pinkie, did you say you have a burrito stuck in your privates?" Rarity asked hesitantly. "Yes, please help," Pinkie pleaded, turning around to lift her tail to show the confused unicorn. "Pinkie, please have some restraint. Showing yourself to me like this is unseemly." "But Rarity, if you don't get it out, how can I have lunch?" Pinkie was nearly begging her friend. Even though Rarity had gotten over the initial shock, she was still hesitant about looking at her friend's rear like this. This wasn't something normal mares do with each other. Sure, she loved her friend Rainbow Dash, even if she was unabashedly a lesbian, but she was personally against the idea. Still, she did feel a need to help a friend in need. She tentatively inspected Pinkie's slit and found the burrito was firmly lodged in her. "Maybe I can use my knitting needles to grab it and pull it out." When she heard the word needles, she was apprehensive, but the reassured herself that Rarity wouldn't hurt her. As Rarity levitated the needles, she was very careful not to poke her friend's sensitive flesh. She maneuvered them to try to grasp the burrito, but sensation on Pinkie's pussy caused her to squirm. She ended up She ended up only pushing it in deeper, making matters worse. Her panic deepening. Pinkie shot away from Rarity, screaming, "You're making it worse!" She yelled as the ran out of Carousel Boutique. Once she came to her already limited senses, she decided to try Fluttershy next. Maybe one of her animals had balls enough to reach in and pull it out. Fluttershy had just finished feeding her animal friends when a gust of pink wind nearly blew her off her hooves. She cowered behind her mane, hoping whatever it was would ignore her. She peeked out and found herself nuzzle to muzzle with a hyper-panicked Pinkie. She could tell something was very wrong with her, and so she drew up all of her courage and asked, "Pinkie, is something wrong?" "Something is very wrong. I was pleasuring myself with a delicious burrito and accidentally pushed it in too far. Do you think one of you animals can reach it and pull it out?" Fluttershy tried to understand what her friend had asked of her, but was totally lost. "I'm not sure what you're asking for." Pinkie explained again. "There's a burrito in my... There's a burrito in my cunt and I need help getting it out!" All of a sudden, Fluttershy understood. That's probably the cunt comment. She didn't want to judge her friend. She had done some odd things with Angel Bunny before, so she wasn't on moral high ground herself. Fuck me. But she also didn't want to subject her animal friends to something like this. It was a hard decision, but she decided to give it a try. "Angel, can you help Pinkie?" Bunny looked indignant, but climbed out of Fluttershy's mane and hopped around Pinkie. He knew how to use his paws on a mare quite well from his bedroom adventures with Fluttershy. But he was unsure how to go about getting something like this out of a mare's pussy. He climbed up Pinkie's leg and shoved his paw into her, feeling around for his target. He had trouble due to the pink mare's giggling and squirming. "It tickles!" she exclaimed as Angel twisted his leg around, feeling for the end of the burrito, but every time he found it, it slipped deeper into her. Soon his short leg couldn't reach anymore. He shrugged, hopping down and going back to his resting place, a lazy cunt. "I'm sorry, don't think we can help you, Pinkie," Fluttershy said sadly. She hated not being able to help, but if Angel couldn't do it, she had no idea which of her animal friends could help. She also decided to invite Barry the Bear over to help her with another problem of her own. Fuck me. Barry the Bear. What a dapper gentleman. "Thanks anyway. Guess I'll see if Applejack can help." Applejack. If Applejack can help. With that, she ran off in the direction of Sweet Apple Acres. Motherfucker. As Applejack bucked her latest tree, she perked her head up and listened. A strange screaming was carried by the warm summer air, and it seemed to be getting louder. She looked around, suddenly spotting a pink dot racing around her farm. She instantly knew who it was. "I'm over here, Pinkie," she yelled. Suddenly the pink mare looked right at her and bolted in her direction. All the running and several orgasms had begun to tire her out. When she reached Applejack, she was panting heavily. "You have to help me, there's a burrito stuck in me," Pinkie gasped out. Applejack scratched her ear. "What'd you say, Sugar Cube?" "I said there's a burrito stuck in me." Now Applejack wasn't sure she wasn't hearing her pink friend correctly. Just to be sure, she asked, "Stuck in you where?" "In my naughty place," she replied. Pinkie knew her orange friend was a bit of a prude sexually, even if the gossip around town said her and her brother were doing it like wild rabbits. But she still wanted to be respectful to her friend, so she decided to be a bit more discreet than she had been before. Very discreet. "What do you want me to do about it?" Applejack replied roughly in her shock. She knew her friend did strange things, but this was more than she ever considered her capable of. "Help me to get it out," Pinkie replied, completely oblivious to her friend and cousin's what? Horses. Applejack was stunned. For a moment she just stood there frozen. Then when she had processed what was happening, she considered the matter. She was in no way interested in seeing or touching Pinkie's vagina, but she was the most dependable pony in town. She made her decision, telling Pinkie, "Follow me to the barn and I'll see if I can help." Pinkie lit up instantly, grabbing her friend in a tight hug. "I knew you'd help." She released her and followed her to the barn. Once the two had entered the barn, Applejack closed the door but failed to lock them as well. Probably very important. She mustered up her courage and said, "Alright, let's have a look." Pinkie turned around and lifted her tail, exposing herself to Applejack. Applejack leaned in and looked. "Yeah, it's stuck in there pretty good." She then used a hoof to spread Pinkie's labia and squinted. "I'm not sure there's anything I can do to help you, Pinkie." Big Macintosh was helping her put away bushels of apples. He approached the barn and started hearing voices in it, but couldn't make out what was being said. He crapped open the door lightly, slightly, and peeked in, trying to figure out what was going on. What he saw shocked him so badly, he dropped his sprig of wheat. Oh, fucking no. Was his sister having sex with one of her friends? He decided quickly to get away from what was happening. Oblivious to her brother's observation, Applejack backed away from Pinkie's slit. Sorry, cuz, but ain't anything I can do. But I'm sure Twi can get that thing out of you. Pinkie was depressed. She didn't want to waste the princess's time with her problem, but she was getting more and more desperate to have this whole mess over with. Thanks, Applejack. I guess that's my only option now. She lowered her head and trotted out of the barn, headed for Twilight's castle. Snooch to the boot. Lavadoo. As Pinkie briskly trotted through town, she orgasmed again. It wasn't as pleasurable as it could have been, because of her depressed state. Suddenly, a rainbow blur crashed into her. As she stood up, she saw her friend Rainbow Dash laying next to her. She was hesitant about asking Dash for help, knowing about her many late-night meetings with other mares in town. As Dash came to, she rose to her hooves. Sorry, Pinks, that trick of mine went really wrong. What's up with you? Finally noticing the look on her pink friend's face, she added, something wrong? Not wanting to be the latest victim of her friend's molesting nature, she hesitated before realizing that this might be her last chance to get the burrito out in time. She mustered up her courage and told her, I've something stuck in me and no pony can figure out how to get it out. Rainbow was confused. She had never seen her friend like this. Maybe this was her chance. You know, I'm always willing to help a mare in need. What's stuck and where is it stuck? Mumbling slightly, Pinkie answered, I've a burrito stuck in my pussy. Dash perked up. Sure, I can definitely help with that. Let's go to your bedroom and I'll have a look. And hopefully a few licks as well, she thought. As they walked back to Sugar Cube Corner, Dash kept taking peeks at Pinkie's rear, trying to get a good look at her cunt. By the time they arrived, she almost couldn't fit through the door. Her wings were so stiff. She had dreamed of finally getting her friend and pranking buddy in bed almost since meeting her, and this little burrito accident was her golden opportunity. As the bedroom door shut, Rainbow was almost floating in anticipation. Now, let me get a look at it. I'm sure I can get it out. Scared slightly, Pinkie complied with her friend's wishes. She shifted her tail and kneeled down, keeping her rump in the air to give Dash a good look at her problem. Rainbow Dash stared longingly at her friend's slightly swollen pussy. All of her dreams about her pink friend were finally coming true. I think I can't reach it with my tongue. Let me give it a try. Okay, Dashy. She was scared. More scared than she'd ever been. She just gave an open invitation to the most well-known lesbian in Equestria to molest her. She prayed to Celestia and Luna and even Tyrek that she would be mentally scarred by this. I'm going in! Dash exclaimed as she raced up to her friend's exposed rump. She had one chance to do this right, and she had no intention of wasting it. She licked her friend's slit, sucking her clit slightly. Dashy, aren't you supposed to have your tongue in me, not licking around it? Pinkie asked, shivering under her rainbow-maned friend's sexual assault. Dash tried to come up with an excuse. I'm trying to help you get lubed up so it comes out easier, she lied. She knew it. Dash was molesting her. She had to think fast before this got out of hoof. She darted away from Rainbow and yelped out, I'm gonna see if Twilight can help! Then she ran out of Sugar Cube Corner as fast as she could, headed for her princess friend's castle. Dash stood there dejected. Her dreams shattered. She needed comfort. And she knew just a mare to trick into helping her. I wonder what Derpy's up to. Derp, 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 bada-ee, bada-oo. Twilight was happy. A new shipment of books from the Canterlot Royal Archives had arrived earlier, and Spike was out helping the Crusaders with their last attempt at cutie marks. Latest attempts at cutie marks. A peaceful day of reading books lay ahead of her, when suddenly her door was assaulted by the hoofs of her friend Pinkie. As she trotted over to open the door, it flew open and the blur raced over to her. She instantly put a shield spell over herself, but it was too late. The pink hooves grabbed her and held her face still. What's going on? I don't know who is actually saying that. I have a huge problem and you're the only one left that can help me, Twilight, Pinkie yelled, her purple friend wincing due to their proximity. Ow! Don't yell in my ear like that, Twilight exclaimed, trying to back away. Her ears were ringing from the sudden loud noise. Now what's the problem? Okay, I was playing with my food this morning and it got stuck, Pinkie told her, lowering her volume only slightly. She was in full panic mode and worried Rainbow might have followed her. Molest. Okay, I'll need more details than that. Twilight knew her friend was strange, but this was a bit much, even for her. Rather than tell her friend, Pinkie turned around and flung her tail up. Twilight stumbled back, definitely not expecting to see her friend's pink taco today. Pinkie, what in Tartarus are you doing? Showing you what's wrong. I've got a burrito stuck in there, Pinkie calmly explained. What? Why just... What? Twilight shouted. This was beyond anything she'd ever heard. What kind of Merida even does something like that? I like to play with my food. What's wrong with that? Pinkie asked innocently, not understanding. Playing with your food is one thing, but this is much worse, Twilight explained and sighed. I'll help you, but you have to promise you'll never do something like this ever again. Pinkie promise. Pinkie sighed. If it meant ending this, she guessed she could do it. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. Twilight sighed again. Let me try to teleport it out. With that, she focused her magic and teleported the burrito, or so she thought. When she opened her eyes, Pinkie was standing on her table. What? She tried again, only to teleport Pinkie whole across the room. I don't understand it. That should have worked. It was kinda big, Pinkie admitted. It must have been so large my magic can't differentiate it from you, Twilight said. I'm not sure what else I can do, if that's the case, but I'm sure it will come out at its own time. I guess, but what am I gonna do until then? Try to keep your tail down and tell no pony about it, Twilight advised. At that moment, all of the movement and her own fluids finally caused a small tear in the tortilla. And in the spot the tear formed was a particularly spicy pocket of hot sauce. When the word I can't pronounce, capsaicin, in the sauce made contact with the overly stimulated sensitive flesh inside of Pinkie, it started a very intense burning sensation. She screamed out, "Oh, sweet Celestian Luna's ethereal pubic hair and arts!" With a loud grunt, she squeezed all the muscles in her lower abdomen, trying to force it out. Fortunately, a pocket of air had been trapped behind the burrito. When she started the powerful contraction, the pressure of air forced the burrito out, shooting across the room. A sound much like a fart followed out as well. Spike had been having fun helping the Crusaders out, but knowing about the shipment of books, he thought he'd better check up on Twilight. She gets quite obsessive. As he opened the castle door, something strange happened. He was hit in the face with a burrito, followed by the sound of a fart. Unable to see what was going on, he reached his tongue out and quickly pulled the burrito into his mouth, chomping down on it and chewing it. After he swallowed, he asked, "Why did you hit me a burrito with the now? Why did you hit me with a burrito? And why does it taste like cotton candy?" Pinkie just giggled and bounced out of the door behind him. That guy got fucked for the skills. Huge. Vagina!